So do you believe in God?
No, I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist. Where do you think all of this came from?
Oh, we've already been over that. Sorry.
Okay. So do you believe that there is a cause, or it just created itself?
Okay. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm doing two arguments in my head here.
There's no arguments, by the way. We're not here to debate.
Well, I'm here to debate.
Really?
Well, yeah, because
then I think this conversation should stop. But you know why? Because by debating, you're not actually learning. So what my humble advice to you would be, either you...
I think if you're not learning something while debating, you're not doing it correctly.
No, so let me help you understand. If you're discussing, right? Because there shouldn't be a debate, because debate, it grounds you to your whatever you believe in already. Discussion, when you come to a discussion, either you learn something from that discussion or you teach someone something else. But if you learn from someone else, then you benefited. But if you didn't learn, you actually lost. Do you understand this point or not?
So that's the only way you can learn is by either by teaching or learning.
Yes.
There's other ways you can learn, and
right.
debating is a great example of another way.
Not
you can
necessarily, not all the time. There's times in a place the debate should take place. But if every argument you had, like say you talk to your mom and dad, your neighbors, your friend, everybody you were debating with, would you ever get anywhere?
Yeah, actually I do. I've had plenty of debates with my parents, and it's actually been really instrumental in the person I've become today.
Okay.
And I've learned a lot from them, and I disagree with them on certain things. I agree with them on other
Excellent,
things.
good. I would say that's not really necessarily a debate. You feel that it's a debate. I think that people want to help you to become a better person, right? Your parents, do they want you to become a better person?
Yes.
So they're discussing with you, or you feel that it's debate because they want you to elevate yourself.
So it sounds like we're describing the same phenomenon.
That's right, just using two different words. Exactly.
I would use the word debate, but
that's fine.
For the purpose of this conversation, I'd be happy to call it a discussion rather than a debate.
So, but in discussion or debate, whatever word you want to choose, there has to be an outcome from it.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. So when your parents are telling you to cut the grass, do they want an outcome from that or no?
Well, but that's not a debate.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So here, we want to have an outcome, not for you to agree with us, but try to understand where we're coming from. Put on the glasses of what we see the world.
Yes.
So as Muslims, the reason why you're always going to have debates, because everyone sees life through their own lenses. Do you understand? Like if I had green glasses and I looked at the world, everything would look green tint. If I had yellow glasses, everything would look yellow. No human beings can come ever together and ever agree on anything.
Like at all?
Yes. I'll tell you why. There's a great scholar in Islam, his name is Ibn Taymiyyah. He said if the intellectual debating with one another was the way to solve the problems of the world, then the human beings would have no problems. All the intellectual people will come together and solve the problems. Why do we have so many issues in the world? Because we don't agree on anything. Yes or no? Do you agree with him?
Well, okay, what problems are we talking about? Because there's a lot of
poverty.
In the world. Okay.
What is right and wrong is what I'm talking about. Yeah?
Okay, so in terms of morals then?
Yes, morals.
It's because we can't agree. So the reason why we can't agree on morality is
because we have different opinions. I feel my parents tell me what's right. I feel this is what my culture tells me, or this is what my intellect tells me. You understand? So in order to really get to the truth, sorry to just jump in.
Right.
Please forgive me, yeah? I didn't want to jump in your
as well. Like,
no, we're all discussing, yeah? We're all discussing as brothers in humanity, yeah? So what I'm trying to say is, in humanity, we need to come to a common term. What is common between us? So when, like I give you an example, if you live in a room, and inside that room, for example, you give me 15 loaves of bread and 2 cases of water, and I tell you, or somebody tells us that you can't leave this room, 4 of us, like here, have to stay in this room for a year without anything else. How are we gonna distribute that loaf of water and bread and water? We're gonna say, oh, you're brown like me, let me give it to you. Oh, you are from my culture, I'm gonna give it to you. You understand? So we need somebody outside of that room to decide how we're gonna distribute that loaf of bread and water. Yes or no?
No.
Are you getting my analogy, or am I losing you?
I'm losing you in the sense that
slow down
I'm
then.
not really too sure as
Let me back up.
It sounds like we're describing the exact same thing, but you just keep trying to want to describe certain characteristics to it.
What do you mean?
Like, because what we're having a discussion here right now, well, discussion over this debate, and now
debate, yeah, sure, debate.
And I think we can agree that there's a lot of, things that are problems because we can't agree on it, but that doesn't mean that we don't talk about it. And that
we could talk about it. But when you do talk about it...
But you don't think that's a good way of actually solving our problems, is to talk about it.
You can talk about it, but you gotta want to act upon what you talked about, and we agree on. Like, for example, I say to you, there's pollution in Canada. I'm not saying there is. I'm just hypothetically. So there's pollution. You say, no, there's no pollution. I say, no, there is pollution. And then we need to talk about it, agree upon a solution, and then act upon that.
I don't think that not necessarily every conversation needs to have that type of. I think.
So then we'll never have any solutions for anything.
Well, no, because it's not as simple as that. You're distilling.
But it's not very complicated either.
Yeah,
it may not be simple as you think.
Complicated, actually. I think that what you're trying to describe is you're trying to take a very complicated thing. How do we come together? How do we agree on things? And you're just saying, sit down, talk about it, and create a discussion. That's just not how the world works. That's
Agree.
just not how anything works.
Agree. I'm not saying we're not going to differ. We're okay but differing. But we differ on the small, minute stuff, but not the big stuff.
Well, we're talking about the big stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So the big stuff, either we agree or we disagree.
And so if I disagree with you...
Then that's your opinion. You can hold on to that.
So should I just leave then?
No, we don't want you to leave, bro. We're not looking for an argument.
So that's my confusion.
I'm trying to explain to you, every conversation that I like to have, personally, and I could be different and I could be wrong, I like that conversation to have a purpose behind it.
So what's the purpose behind this conversation?
So the conversation, we believe that this humanity is suffering. Drugs, alcohol, poverty, you understand? You understand? Arguments, fights, you see wars are happening all over the world. There's destruction in the world. So to solve this, we need an objective source to solve this. This, we believe, is a creator who's outside of time.
Now I'm talking, what's the purpose of this discussion? You're just telling
Yeah,
me
so that's what I'm trying to, look, we're out here.
The purpose of the discussion is for me to convert to Islam, is that?
No, absolutely not. The purpose of this discussion is we believe that there's a truth, and the truth is singular, it's not plural.
I know, he told me about that.
Good.
So what is the purpose of the discussion?
So for the purpose from us perspective, we want to give our message.
Okay.
We believe there's a God, and he's one.
So that's the purpose. You want to give me your message. That's
it. If you take the message, it's up to you. If you don't like it, you leave.
So
that's up to you.
Is the purpose of the discussion for me also to respond and talk about why I think
you
that
can,
correct?
But the only thing, what's your name, sorry?
Caleb.
Caleb, nice to meet you, Ali. Caleb, in order for you to respond, you have to give us some grounding why that answer must be grounded by something. Do you understand what that means by grounding?
Back up.
Let me explain. Yeah, so let me explain.
No, I mean just the sentence.
Yeah, I'm going to explain. I'm going to simplify it for you. I say to you, Pakistan has 400 billion people living there. Well, say, well, back that up, because that's not really true. No, 400 billion couldn't even fit in Pakistan. I'm just making a statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have to say, look, let me give you the national data of Pakistan. So I have to ground that information. I just can't make statements from my whims and desires. I'm just giving you one example.
From my discussion with him, it seems like a lot of the grounding with this, what's pertinent to this discussion is that grounding is the Quran, yes?
For us.
Yes.
For you, I don't know. It's your feelings, your culture, your mom and dad.
What
you understand?
we're talking about right now
Yes.
is how I was disputing whether or not that was a good basis, that was a good grounding. So you're telling me, you need to follow God because the Quran says so. I'm saying I'm not too sure the Quran.
No problem. Let's get rid of this, yeah? Just here. Let's get rid of it.
That's a conclusion. Hey,
So,
we're back where we started.
No, I'm saying let's get rid of it. Tell us another solution. How else we solve the problems?
So, how we solve the problems is primarily...
How do we find out where do we come from? Why are we here? I'm just want to ask you what I'm asking for. Where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? And how do we know what is right and wrong? That's what I'm asking.
Paul Gongoin over here. All right.
Paul Gongoin, who's that? I don't know.
He made a very famous painting that was exactly that. Who are we? Where we come from? Where we go?
That's
it's
right.
A very famous painting.
And what's right and wrong, as well?
Sure, we can do that.
So
but those are four separate premises that have four very complex. So which one would you like to dive into first?
I'd like you tell me what you think the purpose of life is.
You guys have the advantage in this discussion in the sense that your book contains everything.
No, it doesn't contain everything. It doesn't tell you where
it tells you those four things.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it tells us that but it doesn't tell me where the dinosaurs were.
I mean, how
do we fly a plane?
Everything as pertinent to those four premises.
That's right. Where did we come from? Why are we here? Where do it happen when we die? And who decides what's right and wrong?
Okay, so which one would you like to start with then?
Let's decide where do we come from?
Where we come from, we are the result of evolution.
Excellent. So where did the evolution come from?
See, and that's what we don't know. And if you dive into my belief specifically, I can't necessarily guarantee that God does not exist. I can also say that it's probably does not exist.
Okay.
I mean, that's all. That's a lot of that is just subjective opinion based upon my own interpretation of the evidence.
So let's go back to the evolution first because you're jumping now, yeah? In evolution, you said you don't know. Yes? You said, well, I don't know where evolution comes from.
Well, in terms of the very, very beginning, because I have to start somewhere.
That's
how about I define that?
Yes.
So in terms of coming from the inanimate to
the animate. Yes.
That's where we don't know.
Inanimate, you know what it means? No. So it's a rock, it's inanimate. It doesn't think, it doesn't have no life. So animate is something that's flesh, it's moving, it thinks, has a brain. That's what he's means.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, but okay, yes.
Yeah.
So here's the question. The first cell, where did it come from?
We don't know.
Okay, good. The first cell, let's just take a simple example. Can I take this bottle? Sorry. This bottle, can this bottle come from nothing?
Oh, so you're...
No, I'm asking the question.
No, it can't come from nothing.
Can it create itself?
Well...
It gave it its shape, color, depth, temperature. Okay, so it's contingent on something other than itself to give rise to it.
In terms of that.
Excellent. Now, let's go back to the first cell. Can the first cell give rise to itself?
We don't know.
Okay, let's apply that same logic, what we've applied here, because we have an intellect.
See, you're correlating the two. There's a difference between a water bottle and living life.
Why? Right? It has molecules just like the first cell would have had.
Yeah, we went over this. It's called the watchmaker's fallacy. So it's basically...
Okay, it's not about the watchmaker's fallacy. Okay. I know this is from Richard Dawkins. The question isn't, is this watchmaker the designer? The point is that there is a watch. That's what the question is. There's a first cell. It's there.
Yeah.
Whether we agree with it or whether we don't agree with it. Well, how it got...
There has to have been a first cell period.
Okay, good. Now the question is, where did that first cell come from?
Well, we don't know.
Okay, good.
I can't give you an answer.
No problem, and I can't give you that either. But I can tell you this. I believe everything that begins to exist has a cause.
And I don't necessarily think there's enough evidence to say that.
So let me ask you a question. Have you seen anything that comes from nothing? Nothing here means no prior causal condition. It doesn't mean absence of stuff.
Yeah, no, not in my life. But we also have a lot of... Okay, yeah, in terms of there has to be a cause.
Good. That's all we're asking.
I think that was a difference in definition again.
Good.
As well.
So
in
now,
terms of your definition of
that's
cause,
right.
Yes.
In my definition,
has a cause.
Good. So the first cell had a cause. We're saying that first cell didn't create itself. It was contingent on depending something other than itself.
Yes, but we just don't know what that cause.
No problem. We don't have to say it's Allah or God or Jesus or Hanuman or Krishna. We're not giving names to it. We're just saying that there is a cause. You agree to that or not?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, this cause, we're saying, well, a whole bunch of people are giving explanation. Someone says Jesus created everything. Someone says no, it didn't come from nothing. Someone says no, Allah made it. Someone says no, Hanuman made it. We have these difference of opinion. All we're asking people is between all of these difference of opinion, let's use our common sense and our rationale to investigate, be honest and truthful. Which one of these ideas are the best suited for this explanation? Might be none. Maybe we're all making up. Maybe Islam is false. Maybe Christianity is false. Maybe atheism is false. But I'm open to the idea there might be a truth because I believe there are truths. So Islam is just asking you to question things. No one as a Muslim, because you know what happens, bro. Sorry, what's your name again?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Oh, with a C, Caleb. Like the prophet.
Caleb. Okay. One thing we have to understand. Muslims are not like Christians. We're not here to convert a single human being. That's not our job. That is not our priority. Our priority, we believe, there's a creator and there's a day of judgment. And he's going to say, wait, you lived in Guelph or Kitchener here? This Kitchener? Kitchener.
No, this is Waterloo.
Waterloo. You were living in Waterloo and you were a Muslim and you believed in God. You never told anyone? And if there is an afterlife, and people are going to be thrown in the hellfire because they didn't follow God, right? Because God says, I don't want to throw them in the hellfire. They're throwing themselves in the fire because they're not asking the right questions. You understand? So that way, our necks are stuck. So for that reason, we invest all this money in these shirts, these boots, these books. So we out here to do our job. But in this job, not a single person believes in us. We don't care. Do you understand this point or not?
Yes.
That's all we're doing. So we're not here to convince you. We're not here to convince anyone here.
It's just to say that you have that information out
you
there.
have
my followers.
Exactly.
It's on my own head.
Exactly. In Christianity, everybody has to believe in Jesus or they're going to hell. As God. In Christianity, you have to believe Jesus is the Lord and Savior. Otherwise, you go to hell. Yes?
Okay.
Do you know anything about Christianity?
Yeah, it depends on the interpretation you're talking about. But yes.
Well, yes, there's 50,000 different interpretations.
I know.
I get it. So in Islam, we don't have that interpretation. We believe that our job is to deliver the message. If we deliver it clear and concise, then you are a disbeliever. But if we didn't do a good enough job, you may have a leeway on the day of judgment. But that's between you and God. In this life, we call you a disbeliever. Because God said there's a believer and a disbeliever. Right now, you're a disbeliever. We are believers according to God's definition. Because we have accepted that something can come from nothing, can't create itself, must have a cause. The Quran is not man-made, it's never been changed, never been modified. It's internally consistent, externally consistent. It has signposts to the transcending. God makes a challenge for mankind. If you're in doubt what we sent down to this man Muhammad, then produce something like the Quran. For the last 1400 years, nobody's been able to produce something like the Quran. The Quran makes many different challenges for mankind. Arabs and non-Arabs throughout the globe have wrestled with this book. Where did it come from? The book makes a claim that it's inimitable. Muslims and non-Muslims have testified to that. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So this is a claim we're making out there. Now that claim could be completely false, but be open to the idea that it may be true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it is true, then what we're saying is, if you die and you didn't follow or you didn't investigate or you didn't research, you are throwing yourself in the eternal hell. And if you do, you don't lose anything, you gain. Why? You know how to live. You know how to take care of your neighbor. Okay. You understand?
Yeah.
You take care of your mom and dad. You live healthy. You eat food. You're disciplined. You worship God alone. You don't worship money. You don't worship your feelings. That's what Islam is saying.
So I should be a Muslim because...
You don't have to be a Muslim.
Well, I'm saying...
You could be a believer.
Okay, so I should be a believer,
yes.
Muslim, whatever.
Yes.
Because there's no downside and only upsides.
Yes, because if not, let's say me and you know Pascal Weyer, right? You know what it means, right?
Sorry.
Pascal Weyer basically means either you believe there's nothing after this life, and I believe there is. Both of us can agree to that maybe there's nothing or maybe there's something. But if I'm right, I'm going to go to eternal heaven, right? Inshallah, God willing, as long as I do what I need to do. You're going to go to the hellfire. If I follow you, if you follow the way you're doing it, you might end up in the hellfire. But I don't lose anything because I'm still acting like a good person, or at least definition of the Quran is a good person. Not lying, not cheating, not stealing, worshiping God alone, paying charity, helping the poor and needy, not cutting down trees, looking after our women folk, taking care of our parents. I have better relationships. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not getting drunk. I'm not getting high. I'm not gambling. You understand? So in either way, I win in this life and the next life. Where you may win in this life, but in the next life, if I'm right, you're going to lose. Do you get my point? So what we're asking is, just open to the idea it might be true.
Yes, okay.
That's all we're saying. So what we're asking...
That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm asking all these questions.
So you can ask a billion questions, but to ask that question, you got to want to know the truth. God says He does not guide people that are not sincere. He says, if you have a mustard seed of pride, means kibr or arrogance, God will not guide you. So as a Muslim, we believe, Muslim is someone who submits to God, is to humble yourself and say, look, you know what? God, I don't know if you exist or not. Have you ever asked that question?
Yeah.
So say, I don't know if you exist. I'm not sure. I can't see you. I don't know. Guide me to whatever is true. If you don't exist, show me how to be a better atheist. Then maybe you become a better atheist. If you are true, then lead me to that path. Maybe that's why you're here, because you asked that question. So we're here to give you that path and say, here's a path. Take a look at it. Investigate it. Do you understand?
Yeah, and that's what I was doing.
And that's it. That's all we're saying.
Okay.
But we need to get to somewhere. We can't just...
What have we achieved from this conversation?
What we have achieved,
exactly.
What we achieved is we have an open heart and a mind.
Yes.
Which is far more important than just giving you information. Because my iPhone has more knowledge than any scholar. It has lots of information, but it doesn't have guidance. So we got you to open your heart and to say, I'm willing to listen and understand. And that's what God is saying. You understand? But you can't be arrogant. And I know you're not arrogant.
Well,
arrogant means refusing God here.
Okay.
Rejecting the truth.
So in the context, so you don't think I've been arrogant?
No, absolutely. I think you're a really great guy.
So then why have we been talking about this?
Because well, like I said, if we get into debates...
Because I've agreed with you so far. Basically, your thesis is that I need to come in this with an open mind, right?
And me
Which is
too.
What I've done.
Excellent.
So
ask us a question now. Now ask us.
Well, we were talking about the uncaused cause. No, we were talking about how does a cell come from nothing, right?
Okay, so we discussed that. Can't come from nothing, can't create itself. You agreed on that premise.
Yes.
So let's move now. We're Muslims. We're here to give you information about what Islam says. What questions do you have about Islam?
Well, About Islam. I was talking about why, and when I was talking about him, it was like why, and we were talking about on the level of a society. Why is a society that follows Islam, an Islamic society, better than a non-Islamic society?
Okay.
That was my question, because that's something you believe, yes?
Sure.
So that's my question. Why do you think that? And he was explaining to me.
What the alcohol and everything.
What are the benefits of society? And I was planning on it and get to it. But I was
no problem.
Pushing back on because I have my own ideas in my head.
So instead of us giving an idea, tell us what is your idea?
In terms of,
you're saying we were giving an idea, and you were like, I'm going to push back on that idea.
Yeah.
So instead of pushing back and us trying to give you our information, why don't you tell us what's your idea?
Okay, so my idea in terms of, I think that a secular society is the best society.
Okay, excellent. That's what all this was to get here.
Okay, yeah, true enough.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. What makes a secular society good?
I think a secular society is good because we don't have to, and what he was talking about was we have to submit to whatever is in
let's leave Islam.
Then let's talk about.
Let's talk about why secular society is good.
Is better than an Islamic society because it gives us the opportunity to inquire freely without constraints that are put on by.
Do you believe that we're free?
Like in general?
Yeah.
Depends, because you can be a slave to a lot of different things. You can be a slave to money. You can be a slave to
exactly.
But
so, are we really truly free?
Depends, because we also can never free from our society. A man cannot live alone in the woods.
Absolutely. So when you were born, and your mom and dad said, when you go poo and pee, you got to go in that room. You became a slave.
We bring it back because there's freer societies. I don't think anyone can truly be entirely separate from society, but there's a difference between a free. You can be a slave. You can be owned by somebody. And you can have the freedom that we have here in Canada.
Do we have freedom?
Freedom.
Yeah. So this both there.
I'm saying we have some freedom. I'm not saying we're entirely free. I'm just saying we're more free than compared to, let's say, a slave.
So let's
an actual slave.
Yeah, I get it. No problem. We'll talk about that. But when you say we're free, what makes the freedom free? Free. Do you understand let me ask my question again. What makes freedom from secular society correct? What's grounding that?
Mm-hmm. It's correct because then you can actually question things that need to be questioned.
So can you in Islam? In Islam, you can go in front of a Khalifa and say, hey man, how come everybody's poor in the country and you're driving around a Mercedes? You're going to be held responsible. Mm-hmm. You can do that in Islam. Okay. No problem.
Can you?
One of the jihad.
And I was telling him, let me go to the corner of Riyadh and start talking about how a woman should be able to drive.
We didn't say corner of Riyadh. Riyadh is the true understanding of Islam. Has elements of truth, but we're not saying this is...
Okay, so any other Muslim country, that's something that would be frowned upon. Whether outright illegal or not, depends on the country.
So here's what we're saying. Sorry, bro, for jumping in and just going into depth.
We've come to the same spot.
No problem. In Islam, let me explain what Islam is, because a lot of people misconstrue what Islam is. Let me tell you what Islam is. Islam is Qala Allah, Qala Rasul, Qala Sahaba. So I know you don't know what that means. We believe Islam is what the Quran teaches us. We believe what Prophet Muhammad was practicing and teaching people from the Quran, and how his companions understood this. This is Islam, not what Riyadh is doing.
No. And I'm just, we're talking, that was just an example of an Islamic.
Yeah, I get it.
Is the Saudi Arabia an Islamic society?
So what we're saying is
it an Islamic society?
It is a very close Islamic society. Is it perfect society? No.
But is it an Islamic society?
Absolutely.
Is in Canada entirely 100% secular? No, because we have a lot of influence.
And neither is Saudi Arabia 100% Islamic.
No. But I'm using, as I'm using Canada as an example of a secular society, I'm using Saudi Arabia as an example of an Islamic society.
Okay.
I know, you said certain things about Canada in terms of, let's use the United States as a little bit better. Sure. In terms of, the United States is mandating that we teach creationism in schools. That's right. Yeah, that's a flaw in the secular society of America. The same way that there's a lot of flaws in the Islamic society of Saudi Arabia, which you can agree with. And I was actually talking to him about.
And that's what we're trying to get to. Mm-hmm. We don't believe human beings are perfect. We don't believe Muslims are perfect. We believe Islam is perfect. If somebody were to apply Islam, it's like medicine.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about societies.
Yeah. But societies are based on ideas. Yes?
Yes.
So we need to know where...
We're not debating the
We're not debating at all.
We're
discussing, you mean.
We're not discussing the ideas themselves right now. We're discussing, sorry.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
That's okay.
We're discussing the interpretation and how it actually manifests itself in real life. That's what we're discussing right now. We're not discussing the actual underlying things, because you asked me what I was talking about. We were talking about how it actually affects reality. And I think that's the more pertinent part, actually.
The challenge here is, you're looking for an utopia. In Islam, there is no utopia.
No.
Okay?
No. we're striving towards.
That's right. So we're striving to look for the best solution for human beings.
And your argument is that Islamic society is the better way to go.
That's right. Is it a perfect way in way the people are living in? No.
Okay, good. It's
good because we believe they're bad Muslims.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. As the same way there's
like
a lot
for example,
of bad secular
people. Yeah, exactly. We have bad atheists, right? There's all kinds of people. There's bad atheists. You know, General Mao, right?
Mao, yes,
Stalin, they were atheists.
Hitler's up in there.
No,
yes.
yeah, Hitler. Okay, so but General Mao and they were atheists. They killed 80 million people, right? ISIS kills people. You understand? No human beings are perfect. That's why we're saying, is there a perfect system that we can look for? Whatever that is, perfect means that's not that human beings will never be perfect.
But that was not my claim. My claim was not we're looking for something perfect. I'm saying it's better. Better does not mean perfect. It means
exactly.
Better. It means
we're not. But the difference here is we're saying Islam is perfect. We're not saying it's better.
No, but we're not talking about the ideas. We're talking about how it's applied. And I'm saying on average, a secular society is better than an Islamic society.
Yes. The difference between you is you're saying that is a secular society is better than Islamic state. What makes the secular society better than Islam?
And then we're back to the beginning. I think secular society is because we have the freedom to be able to.
But we have freedom too.
And then we come back right where it was.
No, but you're applying what happens in Riyadh as the ideal idea of Islam.
I was using it as an example.
But that's a flawed example because it doesn't work. In real Islam, we have the freedom to do what we want.
Yeah, but no.
But in that freedom, there's restrictions, just like there's restrictions here. Because we have no total freedom anywhere in the world.
You can't change the law. You can't change what. You can question those things.
Wait. No, that's wrong. We can change the law depending on situations. Islam, for example, I'll give you an example.
You can change Sharia then?
Yes. Yeah. Let me explain. Let me explain.
That's not something I knew. So now
I'm going to explain. Let's say we can't eat pork. That's the Sharia. You're not allowed to pork. But if I'm dying, I can eat a pork because I'm dying. So Islam has the flexibility to adjust. But it goes back to the original premise that you're not allowed to eat pork. So if you're dying, you can eat a little bit of pork.
And the thing that I think secularism is better is because we can change that line. We can change.
Right.
Using pork as an example, we say,
Okay, pork is better now, for example, right?
Well, we can eat pork. Whatever.
Okay, good, no problem.
That's something we can
say. let's apply that.
But also tomorrow, if we find that some reason, if you eat pork, you're more likely to die of cancer, we can say, okay, don't eat pork then.
Okay, agree.
That's something we can change.
Agree. But if there's no rules to enforce that, then it won't work because people just say, well, I can eat pork or I cannot be.
Well, we can. We have laws, just as you have laws.
Yeah, but laws are broken all the time.
So it is in Islam as well.
When they're broken in Islam, there's someone who's hold you accountable in the afterlife.
Okay.
Here, nobody, like in Pakistan, I'm from Pakistan, okay?
So my mother was born in Pakistan, Karachi, actually.
Wow, I didn't know that. Amazing. You're not allowed to gamble. You're not allowed to drink alcohol in public. You want to drink in your house? Go get drunk. You want to do gambling inside your doors? Go do it. But you can't teach society this. Islam teaches you cannot fornicate and have sex on the streets. You cannot get naked and have sex on the middle of the road. You want to do it? Do it in your private bedroom. Do you understand? Islam talks about, the biggest problem Islam is talking about is not to have interest-based loan. Because why? The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. If you look at around here, bro, there's poverty everywhere. There's homeless. I met a homeless there. And the millionaires, they keep getting more rich. So Islam wants to eradicate poverty.
And how's that been working out?
If you actually study Islamic history, if you go home and do your research, there's a tribe or there's Muslim leaders of Khalifa. It's called Mamluks. If you go study the Mamluk Empire, it was in North Africa, all of North Africa. Then when they applied Islam 100%, the mosques were full of gold and there was not a single poor person to take the gold. And this is in Islamic history. Even in time of Prophet Muhammad, they eradicated poverty. In the time of the earliest Khalifas, the first 3-4 Khalifas, they eradicated poverty. And that's what Islam doesn't mean there's no poor people. What it means is the poor people are looked after.
It's very interesting you keep using examples from...
Because I said Islam is Qala Allah, Qala Rasul, Qala Sahaba. From what God says, what Prophet Muhammad taught, what the companions understood. This is Islam, not what's happening in Riyadh or UAE or Egypt.
But it is what happened in the Mamluk Empire.
Yeah, so because there are remnants of Islam that's left back. Because Prophet Muhammad told us, he goes, Islam would degrade. As time goes, Islam will be degraded. Do you understand? So today, like even within the life of Prophet Muhammad, the second or the third generation, they said, that if Prophet Muhammad were to come back, that was 1200 years ago, he wouldn't recognize the Muslims. So today's Muslims are nothing like the time of Prophet Muhammad. Do you understand? Because Islam has been degraded. You know what but degraded?
Yeah, so you think that modern day
Muslims, they're not like most Muslims. Yeah, they're Muslims, but they don't know Islam at all. They don't know the basics. If I ask them, what is the word La ilaha illallah? What does it mean? They'll be like, yeah, it means no God but God. That's not what it means. It means there's no other deity that deserves to be worshipped except Allah. And you have to love this being with your heart. You have to believe in it. You have to have khashya. You have to have that fear. Why? Because in Islam we believe Allah is as-Sami' and al-Basir. What does that mean? He's all-seeing and all-hearing. One of the things when the Europeans conquered the Muslim world, do you know what they wanted? They wanted Muslims not to believe in God, that He's always watching and hearing. If there was a camera on this pole right there and he was watching you, would you steal?
Well, it depends who's watching the camera.
Let's say the police is watching, would you steal?
Probably not. It seems like a bad idea.
For us Muslims, all of us here are God conscious. We're all, even if this conversation, you were here or not, we have to be good to you. Why? Because not only should internally we should be good, externally we believe that the Creator is watching us.
You're a very good evangelist, I'll have you know. You're very good, because you combine the arguments very well with the teachings of Islam. I thought very well done, I must say, in terms of how you conduct yourself.
Well, I try to explain to people, bro, because at the end of the day, I think you're an amazing guy, right? I want as many people to be saved, right, in a way that they protect themselves. We don't want any harm for you, bro. You understand? We want you to have good in this life, and we want you to have good in the afterlife. So we're not selling you a bad apple. We're not selling you a lemon. If you don't like Islam 6 years from now, nobody's going to put a gun to your head and say, oh, you left Islam, what's happening? No, nobody cares. But if it can solve the problems for even few people, we're willing to make that effort. I don't get paid for standing here all day. I can still be home doing something else.
Yeah, but I have a robotics company like startup.
Do you understand?
Co-founder there.
We're not poor by any imagination.
Oh, no.
Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to say to you. We're not evangelists in that way. Do you understand? We believe in what we're saying.
Yeah.
We have certainty, iman. I know you do. But the difference between your belief and mine is you have grounded in nothing. We have grounded in scripture.
Yeah. So, okay. I would say that that's probably actually a weakness of Islam, that you have it grounded there, because we have the freedom to move around as we need to.
But we have the freedom too. The scripture is flexible.
Well, not entirely. No, that's at the very end of the day, you're never ever going to be able to eat pork. No, at the end of the day.
No, you can if I need to. But do I need to? Look, certain things. Wait. Let me explain.
But those contexts also don't change as well. There's plenty of literature.
Let me explain.
Exactly dictate.
Let me ask you
when you can't. Eat
can you rape women?
No.
Why can't you rape women? Why can't you change those laws?
Well, there's, okay.
Can you rape somebody right now?
Okay, because there's two different, legally or morally?
Both. Can you do it?
Because those are two separate things. Legally, no. Morally, no. But those two are different.
Okay, good. So you can, right? In Islam, we have moral laws, which defined by God. Eating pork is morally wrong according to God, not because He cares about the pork, because He's testing us. We believe this life is a test, and in this test is not to eat pork or not to eat the pork. It's irrelevant. God doesn't hate pigs. He made pigs.
Okay, but what if tomorrow, for whatever reason, pork
so let me just can I just finish? Can I just finish? Just 1 second, please. Sorry, if you don't forgive me.
Okay, that's fine.
What I'm saying is, God is saying, I want to see if you're going to be obedient or you're going to be disobedient. The pork is a test for a believer. It's not because it's good or bad or ugly.
As is all of life, no? Is that what you
It is.
Life is a test. So
life is a test.
Get into heaven
so are you? No, it's not just to get into heaven, because there's nothing we can do will get us to heaven. It's because we believe and we obey. Just like you obey man-made laws, you see the green light, you stop, or go, a red light, you stop. God has laws. Are we going to obey them, or are we going to follow man-made laws? You understand? So that's why.
Okay. But what if, okay, we're talking about what is, so you view Islam as like, it is objectively correct, but can you just take the premise?
Let's say it's not objectively true. Give me what is objective then.
No. There is no objective. That's the point.
Okay.
There is nothing. So no. But can we?
Wait. You just said, you made a claim now. You said there's nothing objective.
Yes.
So you believe there's nothing morally correct. Would you sleep with your?
No. Don't extrapolate out to there.
Okay.
You can come to moral conclusions without anything being objective.
Where did those moral conclusions come from?
From yourself.
Where did you get them from?
So, and that's the thing. That's why you can never truly be free. This is what I was poking at, because you always are.
No. Wait. Let's slow down, because you're a very intellectual. By the way, I've spoken to thousands of people in my life. Thousands. I'm not lying. Okay. I think you are probably one of the most intellectual people that I've spoken to. So I'm going to ask you a question now, because you made a claim. The claim you made, there is no objective morally right and wrong. Yes. You said whatever morally is right is in your head, where it comes from you. What grounds that? Where does it come from? Because you came from a drop of a sperm, yes? Two people had sex, and you became a baby, and all of a sudden you're a grown man now, right? Because at some point, you couldn't even feed your own self. You were dependent or contingent on your parents. Now, you made a moral claim. So the question now, where does your morality come from? What is grounding it?
It comes from your own experiences.
Where did that come from, those experiences? Because you have a brain. That brain can only rationalize and animately think and process things because somebody gave you the intellect to have that.
And that's why you can never be 100% free.
I get that. What I'm trying to say to you, when you're saying this is morally right and wrong, I'm saying this cannot come from a human experience. You're saying it does. So I'm saying, okay, fine, let's agree it comes from a human experience. Because we believe
it comes from your human experience of
the
Quran, right?
No, that's not true. Wait, so see, you're adding stuff for us. So let us teach you Islam. What you can agree with it or disagree with it, it's up to you. In Islam, we believe in something called the fitrah. Do you know what that means? It means the innate disposition. We believe all human beings innately know what is right and wrong. God created the human beings. You're not just biological processes over time. We believe you have a soul, you have a heart, you have an intellect, and all of these things are working together. In your body, there's that soul that has a heart, which knows what is right and wrong.
Oh, that's very, so, and that's something in the very vague scheme of things, that's something we could potentially agree on, in the sense that there is innate characteristics to human beings. We are more predisposed to being social or predisposed to being that.
So what I'm saying is, every human being knows what is right and wrong. Do they know everything? No.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I don't agree with you with that. I'm just saying there is some innate predisposition.
So we agree.
Things.
Exactly.
And that sense of morality, that sense of what is right and wrong, at the very, very core of all our psyches comes from that innate need for us to be social creatures, to stick with the tribe, to stick with our folks.
No problem, because sometimes sticking with a tribe could be wrong.
Sometimes?
Yeah. Sometimes saying, well, we're going to defend our land because everybody's European, we're going to kill all non-Europeans, is wrong. Yeah? So sometimes sticking with the tribe. That's why I'm saying you still need a moral compass outside of your personal experience. Like, for example, I'm going to quote another scholar of Islam, his name is Ibn Taymiyyah. He says, in order for you to see the world, you need light, right? Right? In the same way, morality, you can know what is right and wrong, but you still need some kind of light. For us, the divine guidance is the light. Without that light, you don't know what's morally right and wrong.
I disagree. I don't think
you don't have to agree with me. I'm just telling you,
question, we coming back to that.
We have to pray soon, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
it's okay.
But I would argue that it's actually the opposite. I would think that not having that predefined anchor is actually probably a better thing.
So what makes that
for the development of the self and society?
Yeah, no problem. What I'm trying to understand from your perspective, because look, I'm not disagreeing with you to argue and debate with you. I'm just saying, I have a moral compass. This is what's grounding me. You're saying, well, I have a moral compass. This is what's guiding me. I'm saying, well, mine is through the teachings of Islam. You're saying it's from your experience. We're together so far? I'm just asking you, I believe this Quran didn't come from nothing, didn't create itself. There was a creator who sent down this message. I'm asking you, where does your moral compass come from? And you said from me, but you didn't create yourself. Yes?
Yeah, no.
You were contingent and dependent on your parents, which were dependent on their parents, which were dependent on their parents. If you keep going back to the beginning, there has to have been some parents that must have been given some kind of intellect. So where did that intellect come from?
I don't think they were given it, they developed it.
Evolution. Okay, you may develop some elements. You know, evolutions gets some things right and gets some things wrong.
What does it get wrong?
Like, for example, in evolution, if you actually study, have you ever studied evolution?
No, I'm not a biologist, but
okay, no problem.
I have knowledge of it.
He knows. Many of us, we study evolution. In evolution, there's problems, like we don't know where the original first cells come from. There's disputes among them because there's many.
Those aren't problems. Those are just unknowns.
Yeah, which is called a problem.
No. There's a difference between what's a problem and what's an unknown.
Okay.
A problem actually has a tangible effect on terms of it has ramifications. Because the whole theory of evolution is not going to collapse.
Do you know?
Because both you and I contend, if we came from rocks and we just jumped because of whatever reason.
Do you know what evolution is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the gradual change in
I get that.
life forms.
Yeah, I know that. Know what I'm saying?
That's the theory.
I get it.
And whether or not we came from
evolution
rocks or not
is a theory, right? What's a theory?
A theory is a plausible explanation for reality.
How do we get to that?
Through inquisition.
And how do we get to that inquisition?
With our intellects and our observations and what we can observe.
Can our observation be ultimately right? Because there's many things we've observed.
Not 100%.
Good. So what I'm saying is, do you agree that an evolution is a scientific theory, yes? Mm-hmm. And science does not lead to certainty.
Nothing leads to certainty.
Well, that's your assumption, not mine.
It's not
we believe that we believe in God and we believe in evolution. And it gives us God and it gives us evolution. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. We have the best of both worlds. We believe in some sort of evolution. We're not saying everything is like 1, 2, 3. Like, for example, we believe there's evolution in the planet Earth on how things are operating.
My question, can you know anything 100%? Like absolutely 100%, unequivocally? Anything?
No, but I can know what is absolutely right and wrong, unequivocally. Okay. Killing your mother, killing your family would be wrong. Right? Unjustly killing someone.
I can think of context where that could actually be acceptable.
No, I said unjustly. I used the word unjustly. If I unjustly kill a 5-year-old kid, it's going to be wrong, no matter what country or society I live in.
Well, yeah, but you can change the parameters around what is just to your heart's content. And you can.
If I kill a 5-year-old, or I'm saying me, so I don't want to say you. If I killed a 5-year-old innocent kid has done nothing wrong, is that not wrong?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean? What does it depend on?
What if you had knowledge
of
the kid?
You have moral challenges, bro.
Well, what if
would you kill a 5-year-old?
Well, I can change the context of what is just. Well, what if?
Well, that's why in Islam we don't have that. In Islam we don't kill innocent people. Our moral compass never changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it does for you, you're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
But for it doesn't. You see, killing a 5-year-old innocent kid will be always wrong. Killing innocent people will be always wrong.
Well, you're using an awfully extreme example, which makes it seem to the uninformed observer
but that's how you apply.
Secularism is just about killing 5-year-olds. So is that what you're saying? That
no, I'm not talking about secularism at all.
That's what your example
I'm saying morally, killing an innocent person is wrong, no matter what culture, what country, even if you didn't believe in any religion. Yes?
It depends.
Okay, what culture killing a 5-year-old kid is okay?
No, it depends. It's not about culture. You're viewing culture as like this some like innate thing. It depends on context. It's always about context. Can you give me any context where killing a 5-year-old innocent kid is okay? Yeah, absolutely.
Give me one.
Well, it's always a stretch. And see, this is why
please tell me, because I like to learn. I will leave Islam if you can show me where killing a 5-year-old innocent kid is right. Mm-hmm. Show me one. Because then my whole paradigm falls apart. Because you have an answer to something I don't have.
What if you knew that 5-year-old was going to grow up to be a monster? What if you knew he was going to kill 100,000 people?
Excellent. Now listen.
Well, that's a context.
Wait. I agree with your context because in the Quran there's actually a verse like that. Like Moses and Khidr went to a place where Khidr killed a 5-year-old kid, and he said that I'm killing this kid, and he said, why are you killing an innocent little kid? He said, because I have knowledge which you don't have access to, which is from God. Unless you're God, you can't kill 5-year-old kids. Okay. And none of us know the future of anyone. I don't know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow you could be a Muslim with a beard walking around praying 5 times a day. I have no idea. Do you understand? So that's a bad analogy and a bad hypothesis to say that kid is going to become a bad person. You don't know what the outcome is. Hitler, when he was a baby, nobody knew what he was going to be born to be later. That means anyone would have killed Hitler and we say, oh, he's going to grow up. We don't know. That's why God wants people to do what they're doing, because on the day of judgment, he'll hold you accountable. Wait, you did 1, 2, 3. Every one of us is held accountable. So I'm asking you a question. In what paradigm, because that paradigm is disanalogous, you don't know the outcome of somebody, what they're going to do in the future. So what makes killing an innocent child right? To this moment, I would like to know.
Okay.
What paradigm, what understanding killing a 5-year-old innocent kid is right? Tell me.
If the circumstances allow
there is no circumstances. You're saying...
I argue that there can be. There's always a possibility. You're giving me a very tough example here. Like, defending for killing a 5-year-old is tough, man. Real tough. That's why I'm pushing back so much, because it's hard. But I'm saying that you can never
There is never.
No.
Unless you are all knowledgeable, and you're God.
Well, maybe that's the case. You never know.
Are you God?
No, but
I'm not God.
Or maybe I don't know.
Maybe you are. But that's what it's saying. See, that's why I didn't want to have this discussion, because, wait, I'm going to explain to you. The reason we're going to stop this now, we don't believe in maybes. Either I'm alive and here, or I'm not. I can't be in two different places. You understand? Truth is singular, it's not plural. We're going to go back to what he started with. Truth is singular. You understand? We don't live in maybes and hypotheticals. We believe, we investigate, when we use our intellect, when we find the truth, we follow it, whatever that is. If it's atheism, we become atheists. If it's Hinduism, we become Hindus. If it's Christianity, we follow Christianity. If it's Islam, we follow Islam. We use our intellect, what we believe the Creator gave us. Otherwise, we live in a conundrum. We don't know what's going on. Okay, we have to go now. We've been here a long time. These guys are here on Saturdays. Please forgive me for jumping in your conversation. So come on back. He's here all the time. And have a healthy conversation. If you like, we'll take you out for dinner. Are you hungry?
Oh, I'm okay. Thanks.